Okay, this video goes over how to calculate an average given that you have grouped data or weighted data. So the easiest way to think of this is, how do we calculate your grade if what you're doing has different weights? So for this class, not exactly, but close enough, the homework is weighted at 45%, the midterm is at 20%, the final is 30%, and attendance is 5%. And I'm going to show that as a percent. Didn't change the number, I'm just showing it. And these are the scores. So how can I determine what my overall grade is? If I did 95 on the homework, I scored an 80, a 78, and I came to the class all the time. So what I want to do is I want to take this times this, plus this times this, plus this times this, plus this times this, divided by the total, which is 100%. So the easiest way to do this is to use something called a sum product formula. And it takes these weights times, and so what it does, it takes this times this, plus this times this, plus this times this, plus this times this, and then divided by the total weight, which is 1, so you don't even have to divide by that. And that would give you your score for the class. That would be your score, which would be a high B, almost an A. If you somehow could score an 85 on the final, you could move it almost to an A and maybe have scored a little bit better on the midterm, and just like that, you can see where you're A. If you don't come to class, you can see what the impact is. So we can do the same thing for, this is an example out of the book. I think it's on page 131. What we have is the amount of dollars invested. These are amount of dollars invested, and this is what the return is. So I invested in this stock, and I invested amount, and I made 9%, which is great. This stock I invested 10,000 and made 13%, which is awesome. This stock, not so good, I lost 3%. So what is my total return? I can do the same thing if I use the sum product formula. Against these. And then that tells you the amount of dollars that I've returned, which is 7,380. So I've made $7,380 on my money. I've made 9% on this, 13% on this. I lost 3% of this. I made 6% of this. So my total return in terms of a percentage is, if I would take this, so my return, this is amount made. Now, if I wanted to know what my average return is, then I would want to take this number and then divide by the sum of what all these are. And then show that as a percent. So my numerator is this times this plus this times this, which is the dollar amount times its weight. These are the weights. And then to come up with the average return, and we can show that as, I don't care how many decimal places. And the average return is if I take this amount and then divide by the total amount invested, which is 100,000, I get a return of about 7.3%, 7.4%, which is good. It's good. If you do that, you can retire well if you can save and get a return of 7% on your money. Okay, that's how to do weighted averages. Thanks.